Hey friends, are you looking for a new laptop and don't know where to start? Today I'll explain how to choose the perfect machine based on your budget and needs. But first, let me tell you what happened to me. My daughter called me last night to say she couldn't stand her laptop anymore. It was bought in 2013 and it's an i7 third generation with 8 gigs of RAM and a 240 gig SSD hard drive. She says it's slow, freezes a lot, loses internet connection, the letters on the keyboard are worn off, and she no longer has space for the twins' videos and photos. It restarts by itself constantly. The battery lasts 1 minute and the laptop hinges groan every time she opens or closes it. And that's how the tech drama began. For us technicians, all these problems can be solved by upgrading components, but we have a simple rule: don't spend more than 50% of the PC's current value, and this includes the labor for changing parts. For example, if you add up what you're going to change, like the keyboard for $20, memory for $40, hard drive for $100, battery for $50, hinges for $35, with labor at $150, the total cost will be $395. And if you look for this machine online, you'll realize it's not worth more than $500. So you can see that the investment isn't worth it, because after all that expense, you'll still have a 2013 third generation machine that might last another year, and you'll have the same problem again, not to mention the complications you'll have updating to Windows 11. But obviously, this decision depends on the available budget and isn't necessarily a matter of preference. Every time a client asks me for recommendations on what laptop to buy, I try to identify if the user is a power user or not. Well, everyone always tells me, sir, it's just for internet and checking emails. It's as if they want to be told that they only need the cheapest one to justify the expense. But when you ask them, do you check your corporate email? Do you use Outlook? Do you connect to the office via VPN? Do you work with spreadsheets? Do you use ChatGPT or artificial intelligence? Do you edit YouTube videos or music? Do you play games online? Then, believe it or not, you are a power user and you can't deny it. And here I'm going to help you find the best machine for your use. In general, there are two reliable CPU brands available on the market: Intel and AMD. AMDs, although more affordable, are mainly designed for video games. And even though many users buy them for the cost, I prefer to go for something more robust, which in this case is an Intel CPU. For power users, there are two Intel CPU models available for these types of tasks: Intel i5 or i7 CPUs, which are the best options I always recommend, especially those from the 12th generation and above. i3s are generally used for users who only work on 1 or 2 tasks at a time, like cashiers, elementary school students, bank tellers, or office workers who perform repetitive and simple tasks. With i9 CPUs, besides paying for a bit of luxury, they are mostly used by professionals in AutoCAD, programmers, engineers, or 3D graphic designers, where processing is much more intense. In my opinion, any other lower category processor can only be considered if the budget doesn't allow for it, because sooner or later, the savings will not justify the necessary expense. The next option is RAM. For a machine to run efficiently, and this is a globally misunderstood concept, a computer with little memory won't necessarily run conceptually slower, but it will be less efficient. The CPU, the bus, and even the hard drive will always maintain the same speed they were designed for. What RAM does is increase the efficiency of the component set, making it seem like it's running faster. Obviously, the user isn't interested in those technical details, but rather the final result. For a power user, it's recommended to have between 16 and 32 gigs, and you'll see how well that machine works. Regarding hard drives, I think 240 gigs is a very modest number. Nowadays, no less than 1 terabyte is recommended, or more if the budget allows. But make sure it's of good quality and speed. Let's move on to screens. The ideal screen size, according to many of my clients, would be between 15 and 16 inches. Any other size, whether smaller or larger, affects the user's maneuverability and visual comfort. The rest of the components and accessories, like colors, 2-in-1 computers, keyboard backlights, fingerprint readers, touchscreens, etc., although important, are not essential. This will largely depend on how the store offers you the product and convinces you to buy them, but you shouldn't use them as a deciding factor. Even the graphics card which can significantly increase the price, shouldn't influence your decision unless you're planning to use it for graphic design or video games. Now, don't be impressed with the accessories that all machines come with by default and are not considered extras like USB-C or the robust USB 3.0, nor the HDMI output, nor the Wi-Fi 7 adapter. Windows 11 also comes by default, or any fast speed hard drive. In conclusion, in my opinion, the best brands with better performance are Dell, Hewlett-Packard, ASUS, MSI, Microsoft Surface. Whichever you choose, make sure they have at least 18 months of manufacturer's warranty. And the price, this conversation can have many controversies, but here's my humble opinion. For a computer novice, spending between $500 to $800 is a good price. For a power user, between $900 and $1,500 is recommended. And for a professional or a video gamer, they can spend no less than $2,000 to own this brutal machine. Look for our video on how to build a brutal gaming machine. Subscribe and like. Thank you.